of the IADC Student Chapter at PDPU. Today we gather to listen, to learn, to fellowship, and to recognize the milestone achievement of the establishment of this student chapter. During my initial visit to PDPU, we were met with energy and vigor, and today I'm enthusiastic for the future of this endeavor. The opportunity to work in collaboration is unique and one that is filled with promise. Our industry is challenged at the moment, yet it will soon reemerge, and that will be the moment when the best educated and the most highly qualified young industry professionals will finally see the fruits of their labor begin to pay off. The PDPU students have much to be thankful and grateful for this day. You have dedicated educational professionals who have gone above and beyond to ensure you have the best academic opportunities. Additionally, your families have sacrificed to ensure you have earned your place at PDPU. So now let us join together and embark on this new journey of learning and engagement. I must express my sincere appreciation to Mr.Arun Karle, who has the energy of a man half his age. His tireless efforts to bring this day to pass should not be overlooked, and we are indeed grateful to have him as a fearless and faithful supporter. So please let us commence the inauguration. Thank you.
Okay, PDPU, you can take over now. It's all yours.
Vidhi and Jayesh, you can start. Vidhi? I think can you call that?
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes. Vidhi.
Hello and namaste. I'm Vidhi Balodia.
And I'm Jayesh Belani.
We feel privileged to welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of IADC PDPU Student Chapter.
On this auspicious occasion, I would like to recall Swami Vivekananda. He said, "What is knowledge? Is it book learning? No. Is it diverse knowledge? Not even that. The training by which the current and expression of will are brought under control and become fruitful is called education." He has also said, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." Today, we feel elated by the presence of our distinguished guests, Mr. Mike DuBose, Vice President IADC International, Mr. Arun Karle, President Askara Group, Mr. Lars Jorgensen, Director IADC Europe, Mr. Hisham Zebian, Vice President Eastern Hemisphere IADC Abu Dhabi, Dr.S Manoharan, Director General PDPU, Dr. R.K.Vij, Director SPT PDPU, Professor Subhash Shah, Shell Chair Professor, SPT PDPU, and honorable members from IADC South Central Asia Chapter, MIT Pune Student Chapter, and all other chapters across globe.
I take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Arun Karle. Mr. Karle is the president of Askara Group. He has done his bachelor's in electrical and mechanical engineering from SPCE Mumbai and master's in mechanical engineering from Lamar Tech University, USA. Mr. Karle has been in the oilfield industry for over 50 years. I would like to humbly invite Mr. Arun Karle to address us.
Good evening, everybody. And thanks for joining. One of the things I like to see is all the old folks who join together in this kind of meetings, and we chit chat a little bit on the sideline before the meeting and after the meeting. One of the things I want to tell the student that you have a very good opportunity now joining IADC, and I'm looking forward to take you out into seeing more rigs, seeing more factories, interact with some of the retired ONGC people. Say, for example, with the MIT, we had 8 different teams which were made with the 8 different ONGC people with the 8 different subjects, ranging from drilling to production to finance, and they had a very good interaction. So I'm looking forward to having more interaction. Anytime you have any question, hopefully right after this corona goes away, I will be on my way to Ahmedabad. One of the things I really miss in these 6 months is I always go out in the afternoon, but I've been stuck in the house for 6 months, and hopefully I'll be able to come and see you guys there in PDPU. All the best for this program, and over back again to you, PDPU. I guess Mr. O.P. Singh will be joining us later on, so we'll get back to Mike on his presentation. Over to you, PDPU.
Thank you, Mr. Karle, for enlightening us with your words. Now, I am delighted to take an opportunity to introduce Mr. Mike DuBose. Mr. DuBose serves as IADC's Vice President, International Development. He began his career with Rowan Companies at the entry-level position of a roastabout in the Gulf of Mexico. He worked offshore for 17 years at positions including driller and OIM. He moved into shore-based management and accepted positions with increasing level of responsibility in the US, UK, and Canada. Mr. DuBose serves as Vice President of Drilling Operations for Southeast Asia before retiring from Rowan in the year 2013 after 35 years of experience. He holds a Master of Science degree from the University of Aberdeen. I would like to kindly request Mr. Mike DuBose to address us.
Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you. Let me see if I can bring up the presentation. Okay, thank you, and good evening to everyone, and good morning to Sang. Certainly good to be with you, and we certainly have a lot to talk about this morning. So let us get started. I think it's important to note what IADC's mission is. Effectively, it's to catalyze improved performance for the drilling industry. This is on a global basis, and this covers both on and offshore. Effectively, our vision is for the drilling industry to be recognized for the vital role that we play in the global economy. Of course, we adhere to very high standards of safety, environmental stewardship, and of course, operational efficiency. So how do we go about fulfilling that vision? Primarily, it's important for people to understand that effectively there are 3 categories of IADC membership: drilling contractors, producer members. This includes ONGC, Petrobras in Brazil, Aramco in Saudi Arabia, as well as some of the usual suspects here in the US, BP, Shell, ExxonMobil, etc. And then we have a large contingency of associate members. So associate members can be as large as Halliburton and Schlumberger, all the way down to Joe's Well Service, which is one guy in a pickup truck. So the difference between SPE and IADC is that you join IADC as a company, whereas you join SPE as an individual. So since 1940, IADC has been representing the upstream oil and gas members of our association. We do this through a number of ways. Advocacy. We understand there needs to be legislation and regulation, but it needs to be enabling regulation that allows us to do our work. Accreditation and credentialing. Well control training is one of the better known training and accreditation services that IADC offers. Technical resources, these include, for instance, the deep water well control guidelines, cementing manuals, but it also includes things like the knowledge, skills, and ability, the KSA program that allows individuals on a rig to understand what skills would be required of them to prove their competency to put themselves eligible for promotion. Conferences. In normal times, IADC has about 12 to 14 conferences around the globe every year. And we look forward to inviting the PDPU students to join us in person when the conferences start up again. For the moment, these conferences are all virtual, and there'll still be opportunities to attend those conferences. The committees of IADC, I like to refer to this as the engine room of IADC. This is where the real work takes place. I attended the Contracts Committee meeting last Friday, where in-depth discussion takes place amongst the industry colleagues as peers to help solve common problems. The chapter, obviously, the South Central Asia India chapter is one of the premier top tier chapters that IADC has around the world. We have 21 chapters around the world, and wherever possible, we do our best to link student chapters to an existing IADC chapter. Industry news, we have drilling contractor magazines, we have the Drill Bits newsletter. Of course, we have our IADC website where we're able to share the latest industry news with our colleagues. So the student chapter program began about 4 years ago, and we took it to Texas A&M in the first instance, primarily just the ease of logistics. It's about 90 miles away from Houston. So I burned a lot of petrol between here and College Station going back and forth, but the program got started and it's been an absolute runaway success. MIT was our first international student chapter. Of course, now the student chapter at PDPU, we're working with King Fahd University in Saudi Arabia and some other schools around the world and local chapters to try to grow the program. So as the program began to gain traction, more and more students began to contact us. So at the moment, we have 9 student chapters in various regions around the world. So a couple of the primary objectives of the program, of course, it's to engage the young professional in the global IADC activities, provide networking opportunities at conferences, at chapter meetings, technology meets such as the ones that are held generally in Mumbai with the South Central Asia chapter. It's a great opportunity to connect with the industry professional, to learn about the latest technology, but also, more importantly, it's the opportunity to be exposed to the practical side of the business. So there's no question that you're getting a first-class pure academic education. We have no doubt about that. But until you go out and see it in practice, until you go out and see some of these pieces of machinery and equipment in use and out on the work site, it's hard to understand and comprehend exactly how this all works together. You'll learn about the interaction between the company man, the service companies, the drilling contractors, and how it all commingles together to produce hopefully a successful well at the end of the process. So we're looking forward to helping to coordinate rig visits, factory tours, industry professional speakers. I know we have my dear friends, Mr. DuBose is on this call today. Mr. Sony is obviously a very accomplished industry professional. So the opportunity for you to be able to connect with them is just something we believe is quite unique. So here you'll see specifically from India some of the opportunities that have been afforded, the Aban rig visit, where the students got to go out when a jackup was at the quayside to be able to visit the rig, to be able to see the equipment firsthand. And because it was at the dockside, they were able to see and do a lot more than if it were out on a job site working. Then you'll see some photos where the students got to attend the Middle East Drilling Conference in Abu Dhabi and a couple of the different conferences. So we think these are the types of things that really bring benefit to the young professionals, to be able to see and to meet and to travel and to see how the industry works around the world. These are just some photos from some of the student chapter activities, primarily here in the U.S. University of Wyoming took a large group out to a land rig near Fort Collins, Colorado. I actually had the opportunity to go on this Texas A&M visit to a Latshaw rig. You'll see some of the students here that attended 5 different universities that attended the World Drilling Conference in Milan, Italy. And it's important to know IADC, we don't wish to place a burden on the students or their families or the universities, because we can help with the funding for some of these projects, and we look forward to that opportunity. And then you'll see a field visit here to the tuboscope shop and facility. So it's hard to tell from these photos, but if we were in a room seated closer, you would be hard pressed not to find somebody in these photos who doesn't have a big smile on their face. It was a very, very enjoyable experience. The students really enjoyed the opportunity to go out and to see and to do firsthand. And there's also been some speaking opportunities for students at some of the conferences here. So we think that there's a lot that we can offer. So obviously you've met these requirements now, and we look forward to getting started. Some of the upcoming opportunities, my dear colleague Lars, who is also on the call, he will be helping us to coordinate some student attendance at the Well Control Conference. It will be virtual, but that will be taking place from Stavanger, Norway later in October. The Middle East Drilling Conference, my other colleague Hisham will help us to coordinate that, and that will be taking place in December. As I mentioned, the local India chapter usually has 1 or 2 technology meets a year. This is a fantastic opportunity to come to listen, to learn the normal chapter meetings. And of course, we believe there's a lot of work that needs to take place on the safety culture in India. So those are some of the things that we think we can engage the students on, and we think it can be a great benefit to all parties. So with that, I will be happy to take a few questions or comments or thoughts if we have some.
Mike, can you introduce your team?
Sorry, Arun, say again.
Can you introduce your team, Lars and Hisham?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we have Lars Jorgensen, who is our European director. He's based in Copenhagen, 40 plus years in the industry, and he is joining us today. And we also have the Vice President for the Eastern Hemisphere, Hisham Zabin, who is stationed in Dubai. And he looks after the Middle East, Australia, and Africa. They are on the call as well today.
Lars can say hello and a couple of words, and then we can take whatever calls, if questions, if any, the students may have. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next one. You want to let Lars say a couple of words from Europe?
Lars, are you there?
No.
Hisham?
Yes.
Hello.
Ishan.
Hello, sir.
Ishan.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Mike, I'm here. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, but we don't see you.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing a tie, so I thought that I will not turn on my video. But I would like to say a few words to congratulate the PDPU University for this great achievement, especially during this tough time. And it's a pleasure to be with you here. And Mike and myself are always ready to take any questions and to assist the students and to provide any kind of guidance or out of the humble experience that we have in the industry. So congratulations again, and I will turn it back to Mike.
Great. Thank you, Hisham. Much appreciated.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, my question is that how will it be helpful to the students in professional growth, sir?
Who is
Sorry, how will it be helpful to the students with professional growth? Was that the question?
So, Mr. DuBose, can we have the question answer session at the end? We'll ask the participants to put the question in the chat box and we'll get back to you at the end of the session. Would it be okay?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, we would do that then. Yes. Yeah. Vidhi and Jayesh, shall we continue? Vidhi.
Thank you, Mr. Mike DuBose.
Next one, DJ. Yes, Jayesh.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
DuBose, for declaring the chapter open. Thank you, sir, for taking us through the avenues and opportunities that IADC could extend to the students and faculties of PDPU. In case any of the participants of this meeting have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat box, which will be addressed at the end of the session. The format of the questions will be given in the chat box itself.
I think a round of applause is due with the chapter being open. So I'm going to take the lead on that.
And I was clapping while I was muting.
Sometimes it happens.
Listen, sir.
That's I call the technical glitch. I wanted to have fun.
Okay.
Up next, we have with us our fellow members from IADC MIT Pune Student Chapter. We would like to welcome them to share their journey with us.
Hi. MIT Student Chapter, please.
So, hello everyone. My name is Dviti Patel and I'm currently in the final year of Petroleum Engineering at MIT WPU. And I'm also currently the treasurer for IADC MIT Student Chapter. So, our journey with IADC began when Mr. Mike DuBose, Mr. Arun Karle, Ms. Shreya Singh, and Mr. S.E. Soni visited our campus and interacted with the students and the faculty. We received the official IADC MIT Student Chapter on 23rd September 2019 during the 33rd Technology Meet. So our student chapter is South Central Asia's first IADC student chapter. And after a year of being associated with IADC, we do understand what they mean when they say honoring the past and shaping the future. So we will be sharing with you our journey of a year through a video. I guess the present. Hello. So I guess the video wasn't visible because of some technical glitch. I will play it again.
I think it was visible. There was no problem to me, at least.
Yes.
Continue. No,
Please continue.
Okay, sir. So now let us hear a few of words from our students sharing their experience.
Hello everyone, this is Chairman of IADC MIT Student Chapter. The journey so far with IADC has been of great knowledge in both technical as well as non-technical aspects. Being part of the student chapter has taught me various life lesson skills such as management skills, time management, leadership, and even most importantly, the right way of interaction with industry professionals. We were very much fortunate to have an offshore rig visit before this pandemic. But even in these hard times, the student chapter didn't back out and has used this at full advantages by organizing various webinars which gave my colleagues and all the students an insight of how our industry is coping up with this pandemic. The student chapter has also provided various internships to my colleagues which gave them an in-depth knowledge of their particular domain and which has helped them in building their resumes more stronger towards the industry. I am very much fortunate and lucky to be part of IADC MIT Student Chapter.
I'm Akash Jadhav. I'm working as the coordinator at IADC MIT Student Chapter. Under the student chapter, we have done many activities. Under the student chapter and with the help of Mr. Arun Karle sir, we got an opportunity to do virtual internship with several senior industrial professionals like S.C. Sunil sir, Narsimam sir, Aniruddha Patnaik sir. It was really beneficial for students in this pandemic situation. It's really a great journey working with IADC so far, and I have learned many things from the student chapter.
I'm Akash Das, the current Vice Chairman of IADC MIT Student Chapter. I'm really glad to have this opportunity to speak about my experience. Although it is a learning phase for all of us, IADC has provided us a platform to venture into new careers and to interact with industry professionals and to get insights of industry. This has encouraged us to build strong connections within the industry.
Apart from the opportunities like attending technical meets, national and international conferences, even during these difficult times, we could arrange various web talks, webinars, Instagram quiz. So also the opportunity provided by IADC of internships was really beneficial for the students, wherein a group of students were mentored by various senior industry professionals on different domains, like mentioned over here, the various topics and the mentors. So thank you to IADC for this opportunity, and heartiest congratulations to PDPU on receiving the student chapter.
That was an excellent presentation. Now, I would like to introduce Dr.S Manoharan. With it, we would like to cast some light on the journey of Pandit Deendayal Petroleum University since 2007. Can we have the video, please?
As intensive research embellishes the learning ethos of this enclave of knowledge, where a sincere reflection of academic passion stimulates questions, seeks answers, nurtures the yearning for more, and kindles the need to fulfill a quest, a reason to be. I think, therefore I am. The chirpy green environment of this university, you touch base with immersive engagements in the domain of energy research, in principles of management, and in liberal thinking.
Say they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign labs.
You know, it can't get better than this. A real estate of academic empowerment, named after a great thinker, activist, and humanist, Pandit Deendayal Petroleum University. PDPU appreciates that education in the 21st century has stepped out of the classroom, with technology redefining the dynamics of learning. The seeker of knowledge at PDPU values dialogue, debate, fieldwork, live projects, empirical engagements, industry internships, international exposure, multidisciplinary experiences, capabilities which are honed to help one dig deeper. Look further, experience the pressure, change the tune, and go with the flow. In our B School, engineering schools, and School of Liberal Studies, which progressively came into existence in 2006, 2007, 2009, and 2010. Our 100-acre pristine and green campus comprises an integrated auditorium complex, more than 65 world-class laboratories, multiple centers of excellence, 14 hostel blocks, numerous cafeterias, food courts and gyms, great outdoor and indoor sports facilities, making PDPU an ideal mini self-contained university commune you can curl up in safely. The campus life warmly cusps the passion for higher learning. More than 30 clubs, intellectual, cultural, and sports actively complement lecture sessions and give a much desired holistic expression to life at PDPU. PDPU begins a journey for you, a journey which explores your individuality and gives it a reason to be, to get you out of your comfort zones, to challenge life and to celebrate it with flair. Welcome.
Now that you all are familiar with PDPU, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Dr.S Manoharan, who is a renowned educationist, scientist, and an administrator. Dr. Manoharan obtained his doctoral degree from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, in the year 1991. He served at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, as professor for 18 years. He has over 30 years of extensive experience in teaching and research in the area of material science and nanotechnology. He was the founder director of National Center of Nanoscience and Nanotechnology at the University of Mumbai. He also served as a visiting professor in NUS Singapore, University of California, Berkeley, Max Planck Institute, Germany, Imperial College London, and University of Maryland, USA, to name a few. For his immense contribution, he was awarded Innovation Gold Medal by the Department of Science and Technology, India, and Lockheed Martin, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Intellectual Ventures, USA. He has more than 120 research publications and 19 patents to his credit, 6 of which are granted US patents. I would like to request Dr. S. Manoharan, Director General PDPU, to share a few words with us.
Thank you, Mr. Jayesh, for your kind introduction. At the outset, let me greet all of you on behalf of Pandit Dindayal Petroleum University. What a happy occasion to be here this evening. And for some of you who are joining from abroad, a good morning and good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, let me congratulate the students, the faculty of the School of Petroleum Technology and IADC for bringing together this wonderful occasion to inaugurate the student chapter. With the formal inaugural address made by Mr. Mike DuBose, we really cherish this moment because this is yet a feather in the cap for the School of Petroleum Technology. And I want to congratulate the initiative taken by all the faculty members and the director, Dr.Vij, for bringing this to a reality. And I can assure you that this involvement with IADC is going to go a long way. At the outset, let me tell you that the PDPU has immense pleasure in setting up a center of excellence for drilling, cementing, and stimulation, which is a state-of-art facility which we have recently developed and inaugurated just a couple of years back. We have state-of-art facilities in this Center of Excellence. We also have an associated involvement with Shell, and Shell has instituted a $1.1 million chair professorship where Professor Subhash Shah has from Oklahoma University is the chair professor, and we are so happy that we have everything in place. In the recent past, Dr. Bhavani Singh and a few other professors have submitted 4 patents during the lockdown, design patents. We are also working on bringing mixed reality in the area of drilling, cementing, and stimulation. And soon we will form a team to work towards this. I'm very happy to have the comradeship with Mr. O.P. Singh, the director of ONGC, who have been extremely helpful in bringing collaborative research into the portals of PDPU. Now, this IADC is not just another student chapter. For those students of the Petroleum Technology School, I have to tell you, this is going to be a very pivotal initiative as far as the NBA accreditation is concerned. But for the lockdown, we should have got the MBA accreditation a couple of months back. But because of the pandemic, this is delayed, and soon the NBA committee will be visiting our university, and SPT school will have another feather in the cap in the sense their program will be accredited. Not only that, this IADC, I'm looking forward to a very active collaboration from the student side. I request all the students to become members, and there should be an overwhelming participation. Apart from what IADC helps in student exchange, our own university makes sure that our students are actively involved in a student chapter like this, but we also encourage site visit. Like Mr. Mike DuBose mentioned about Texas A&M. Texas A&M has done a lot of visits to RIG facility. We have an excellent MOU in place with Texas A&M, and therefore we might initiate a joint IADC collaboration between Texas A&M and PDPU as well, because our collaboration with Texas A&M is very, very active and vital. Now, this engagement, I wish, is taken more seriously by the students and the faculty, so that we not only go for NBA accreditation with much more confidence and with exuberance, but we want to aim for Abbott accreditation as well. So within a couple of months after our school goes for NBA accreditation, I am looking forward to make sure that it is Abbott accredited, which means it's a global accreditation, and our students will have n number of opportunities to go for higher studies, especially in US and in Europe. Having said this, I request the students and the faculty to come back to us for any sort of help and support, and it will be our pleasure to extend all help that this IADC involvement flourishes and it takes deep root. With these few words, let me once again thank Mr. Arun Karle, who is active in this student enrollment of this chapters, and his pioneering work with the student chapters in India, Mr. Mike DuBose, and also Mr. Singh. He will join late, but we want to thank all the stakeholders who have jointly made this possible to inaugurate this student chapter. And I really want to wish Jayesh and the entire team for bringing together this excellent meeting, and wish you all very best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce Dr.Vij, Director, SPT PDPU. Dr. Vij is an industry professional and a well-recognized leader with 40 years of industrial experience in various facets of E&P industry. Dr. Vij retired as the Executive Director of Jorhat Asset, Assam. He also served as the advisor to the ONGC board. He was responsible for first geocellular modeling of Mumbai High Field. He implemented first miscible EOR in Gandhar, Gujarat, and immiscible gas injection EOR in Borhola, Assam. He was also responsible for formulating the development and redevelopment plan for 15 fields of ONGC. Dr. Vij has been awarded for his accomplishments during his tenure in ONGC by the Honorable President of India, Vice President of India, CMD and Directors of ONGC. Currently, he is back in academics as Director SPT PDPU and has received an award for significant contributions in internationalization as a part of Study in India campaign from the Union Minister of Railways in the year 2020. I would like to kindly request Dr. Vij to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Vidhi. Good morning and good evening to all of you. First of all, I am very happy today that the vision or the dream which we have seen around 6 months, 7 months back with the help of Arun Karle ji have come to a reality. My thanks are also due to Mike DuBose, Mr. Hisham and Mr. Illas from IADC and all other dignitaries of IADC for helping us to become a student chapter, second student chapter in India. My thanks are also to our seniors. I got this opportunity to see Hajarika sir, Bose Saab, Arun Jaiswal ji, Soni ji, Kanchan Kumar ji and all others. So my remembrance and congratulations to all of you. As Vidya told, I worked in ONGC for around 4 decades as a reserve engineer. And then from last 20 months, I am in this PDPU. As you know that PDPU, a vision of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he started 14 years back. And as of now, our Board of Governor, the President, Mr. Mukesh Ambani ji, and with the active dynamic leadership of President Director General, Dr. Manoharan ji, the PDPU is going miles and miles ahead in their journey. SPT, as of now, we have around 6,000 students. PDPU is a university with difference, all being managed by professionals. And this university is a no loss, no profit university. We are devoting our whole of money into the faculty, students, and infrastructure. As far as SPT, School of Petroleum Technology is concerned, we have 600 undergraduates, more than 50 MTech students, and around 25 PhD students in various spheres of petroleum industry. The various E&P sectors, we have one of the best laboratories in India among academic institutes. Recently, in last 2 years, we have spent around 20 crore rupees on the laboratories upgradations, as mentioned by our Director General, that drilling, cementing, and laboratory, drilling, cementing, and stimulation laboratory. We have acquired almost all the softwares which is available in the industry or being used in the industry. You name it, any software of petroleum industry, we have with us. Whether it's a Schlumberger Petrol or the CMG or the Frac Pro, all the software. We are training our students so that our students, when they are going to the industry, they don't need the training. We are thankful to the industry, whether it's ONGC, Reliance, Oil India, and private industries. Our students are going an internship and they learn the industry language while in the 8th semester or 7th semester. We request the industry when they are going, they can be employable as well as deployable immediately to the industry. So we try our level best to give them the latest technologies. Recently, during the COVID period of 6-7 months, really I must share with you that with the leadership of Dr. Manoharan, we have utilized these 6 months vigorously. We have converted our Industry 4.0 course curriculum. We have totally revised the course curriculum to a new industry after discussion with the industry. And then also we are going for the accreditation process also. We are really thankful to Arun Karle ji. Although while in ONGC, I was not aware about IADC, but really I am thankful to all of you, my seniors, fellows, and my ex-ONGC colleagues, that drilling, which is a very important topic for a E&P sector, where we spend huge amount of money. If our professionals are good, results are bound to be good. And on this historic day of opening the student chapter in PDPU, I must share with you that we have already made the plans for coming 6-7 months. My request to all my Indian IADC members, that starting with December or January after COVID, I will send the invitation. Each one of you should visit PDPU and share your experience with our students. Really, it will be a great honor for all of us if you visit us. I will send the invitation, and depending upon your convenience, you visit PDPU. PDPU, as we have shown, you have seen in the picture that it's a 100-acre university with a difference. As I've told you, we have a faculty which almost all PhDs, all the doctorates, most of them are doctorates degree in petroleum engineering. In last 1 year, we have recruited around 10 faculty from IITs, ISMs, and foreign universities. And these professors are giving their state-of-art knowledge to the students. Dealing, we have already benefited by our association with IADC. With the help of IADC and Arun Karle ji, our students have already visited an offshore rig, which is a rare thing for a students of petroleum engineering. Like MIT, our students have already visited Aban rig, and they were really happy to visit that offshore rig. We have already started the guest lecture, and AK Mishra ji, our ex-colleague from ONGC, have delivered a series of lectures, and after coming to this PDPU, and now we look forward for the other visionaries dealing fraternity to share their knowledge with our students. We have also made a plan that we will be organizing, and I, on behalf of PDPU, invite you that if COVID is over, maybe in March or April, we can organize a national or international conference where we will host this conference in PDPU. We have the infrastructure, we have a will. Our students are really very much energetic and excited. We have team of Bhavani Singh ji, our team of Dr. Hari and Mr. Gaurav Ajarika, and the team of Parag, Smith, Kripal, and Virag. So they are a team which have already in action, and I assured you, all of you, that we in PDPU will follow your path of IADC, and our students are benefited with this student chapter. My thanks to each and everyone who has spared the time for this opening of the student chapter, and really I look forward for a new inning through IADC in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce Professor Subhash Shah. Professor Subhash Shah is an emeritus professor at the University of Oklahoma and is the chief mentor SPT PDPU. He has been Shell Chair Professor at PDPU for the last 4 years. He has a distinguished career in the oil and gas industry that spans over 40 years, of which 18 years of industrial experience and 22 years of academic experience at the University of Oklahoma, USA. He is bestowed as a distinguished member of the Society of Petroleum Engineers in 2020. I would like to kindly request Professor Shah to share his thoughts.
Well, very good morning and good evening to everyone. I would like to welcome Mr. Mike DuBose, Mr. O.P. Singh, Mr. Arun Ji, Dr. Manoharan Ji, Dr.Vij, dear faculty, dear students, and other invited guests. Greetings from Dallas to all of you. Last 5 years, I have been serving as Shell Chair Professor and Chief Mentor at SPT PDPU. I'm also Emeritus Professor at University of Oklahoma in the School of Petroleum and Geological Engineering. So I'm also involved in our student exchange program at University of Oklahoma and other universities. Today is a very special day for PDPU. Finally, our dream has come true to establish a student chapter of International Association of Drilling Contractors. We appreciate IADC officers' help in making our dream come true, and we are very excited about it. As you all know, drilling is one of the most critical operations in the oil and gas industry. Millions and millions of dollars are expended every year on drilling program. It is imperative that the drilling program be optimized and non-productive time is minimized to reduce the cost of drilling program. Over the years, with the help from operators, contractors, academicians, and also government, significant progress has been achieved in various drilling functions. However, this is a continual process. Research and development must continue to enhance drilling operation even better in terms of optimization and to reduce the cost of drilling operation. With my 45 years of experience, 18 years in the oil and gas industry, and now 27 years in academia, and having taught drilling and completion courses for many years, I must say that significant research and development is critically needed in drilling area. PDPU, as you know, is relatively a young university. However, it is very vibrant, dynamic, and flourishing very rapidly. In recent years, it has made a great impact on an international platform through its internationalization program. PDPU has established student faculty exchange programs with several foreign universities, including universities in US and Canada. Through exchange program, for example, our petroleum engineering students have taken semester-long petroleum engineering courses at University of Oklahoma and have earned credit at PDPU. As we strive to establish our drilling program at PDPU, an association with 80-year-old well-established organization like IADC will provide necessary impetus towards our efforts in making the best drilling program in nation. Our association with IADC will help our students in many different ways, gaining knowledge and learning the latest technology, gaining international perspective, networking with drilling industry professionals, opportunities for advancements through certification programs, etc. Our students, however, with the help from IADC, must actively seek for these opportunities. The opportunities are not only limited to students, but they are also there for our faculty. Let me tell you about my recent involvement with IADC and how it will benefit my team. My collaborators at China Petroleum University in Beijing, I have collaboration with them last 15 years. And we are preparing a book on fundamentals of cutting removal in horizontal wells. As you all know, this is very, very critical issue in drilling. The publisher is elsewhere, So publisher and or authors, we quickly realized that in order for us to have an impact of our book in drilling industry, having an endorsement from IADC would help tremendously. So presently, I'm working with Technical Publishing Committee. Mike DuBose mentioned about one of the areas they are helping is, they have committees and they are helping, industry, drilling industry. So this is what I'm talking about. So I'm working with Technical Publishing Committee, IADC, and the book chapters are being reviewed by the appropriate committee members. Their input, recommendations, and suggestions will be incorporated in our book. So we are very excited to have an opportunity like this with IADC. So my challenge is not just to PDPU students, but also to our faculty. IADC presents boundless opportunities to us, and let's all benefit from it by our sincere involvement. I want to thank all the officers of IADC, particularly Mike DuBose, and also Mr. Arunji for helping us out, and our leadership at PDPU, our DG sir, for his excitement of this involvement with IADC, as well as support, continued support, and Professor Vij in SPT as a director of SPT, with his direction and guidance to our students and faculty. It is really going to be very exciting time for us in the future. And again, I'd like to congratulate PDPU students for having this chapter established at PDPU. Thank you all and good luck.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request our faculty mentors, Mr. Gaurav Hazarika and Dr. Hari S. to give a short presentation on School of Petroleum Technology and IADC PDPU Student Chapter.
Thank you, Vidhi. Greetings to our esteemed guest, Mr. O.P. Singh, Mr. Mike DuBose, Mr. Arun Karle, Mr. Lars Jorgensen, Mr. Hisham Javian, our Honorable DG, Dr. Manoharan sir, Dr.Vij sir, Professor Shah sir, and all the fellow mates of various IADC chapter across the globe. The highlights of the presentation will be a brief introduction on SPT, followed by IADC in PDPU and its way forward. Yeah. SPT has a total student capacity of 618. 24 faculties are there, and which are backed by 7 visiting faculties. We have 11 number of laboratories. In 2020, we had total publication of 93, including conference papers. 3 books has been published and 6 book chapters. 1 patent has already been granted and 5 are already filed. The net worth of our ongoing project is 19.2 million and the net consultancy worth is 12.8 million. The thrust areas of School of Petroleum Technology, apart from the core petroleum engineering domains like production, reservoir drilling, EOR and IOR, we also have geology, geophysics, unconventional energy, petrochemical and chemical. We have a dedicated drilling, cementing and stimulation center where we have the formation damage system. We have propane conductivity cell, propane transport system, consistometer, fluid loss. And these are to name a few. We also have various other instruments in that center. We tried very hard to procure all the software licenses. As such, we have 188 software licenses currently in the campus. We have Eclipse, Petrel, Paradigm, Petroleum Expert, Jewel Suite, and so on. We also have very good international collaboration with well-renowned universities of US, Canada, Russia, Australia, Abu Dhabi, we also are well connected with the Indian universities. Apart from the Institute of National Importance, the IITs, ISers, we are also well connected with the government university and all the well-renowned private universities of India. We have more than 30 industrial partners for which we have also developed a reputation that our students are not only employable, our students are employable as well as deployable. The IADC Student Chapter, which is being introduced today, apart from that, we have SPE, FIPI, AAPG, SEG, SPG, EAGE. They are so active that even in the period of lockdown, we have had multiple webinars, some of which you can see on the screen. Is it? Yes. We have also organized various conferences. The worth mentioning are the 9th annual FIPI convention, where we have received the Best Student Chapter Award. We annually also organize SPE Fest, and the SPE is so active that they have won 10 awards since its inception, 7 gold standard awards, 3 outstanding awards. We have also organized the gas industry workshop in collaboration with GTI at New Delhi. Coming to our achievements, apart from IITs and the R&D centers of various industry, we are the only private university in India to be nominated as a designated agency for UR screening by MOPNG. Till now, we have completed 7 projects that worth 12.8 million Indian rupees. It may be worth mentioning the last project that was completed by Dr.Vij sir and Achit Acharya sir was a project by Niti Aayog on ONGC's overseas arm. The conclusions and recommendations are so well received that they are being forwarded to the PM office as well. Coming to the achievements of our student, Parag Borania and Yaspal Singh Daima received first prize in IPTC at Saudi Arabia. Our another student, Dhairya Varanava, has received the Student Excellence Award in APGC in Malaysia. With the help of Mr. Karle sir, we organized a rig visit, offshore rig visit to the Aban 4 rig under the guidance of Dr.Vij sir and Bhavani Singh Desai sir. So I would like to pass the mic to Dr. Hari Srinivasan to continue with the presentation.
Respected dignitaries present for today's inaugural ceremony, I take this opportunity to read out the mission statements for the IADC PDPU Student Chapter. The IADC PDPU Student Chapter envisages in providing an interactive platform for the members to engage with the global drilling industry for meeting the present and future requirements. We also strive to stimulate young minds technically as well as professionally through skill training and exchange of innovative technical knowledge by industry leaders around the globe. We also seek to promote research interest for developing safer, reliable, efficient, and eco-friendly solutions to the present industry constraints. It all started with the visit of Mr.Arun Karle, President Askara Group, to PDPU on 8 May 2019, and subsequent to his discussion with Director SPT Dr. R.K. Vij, we were pleased to have Mr. Mike DuBose visit the PDPU campus on 5th March 2020, who shared with us regarding the commencement of the student chapter at PDPU. We completed the other formalities for the chapter in August 2020, a slight extension due to the COVID-19 period, and we completed the selection of the core committee members by 15 September 2020. And today, on 28 September, we are pleased to have our inaugural ceremony. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the IADC PDPU chapter officers headed by Parag Borania, who is the chairman, Smith Prajapati as the vice chairman, Kripal Patel as the secretary, and we have Virag Poshia as the treasurer for the chapter. As mentioned by our director, we see our annual agenda to have a series of special lectures from the global experts in drilling. We also plan, with the cooperation and support from IADC, to have offshore rig visits and as well as onshore rig visits. In order to have the technical expertise and improve our students and faculties, we wish to undertake a training in the rig simulator. In the coming month of October, we plan to have a special lecture by Dr. A.K. Mishra, Executive Director Drilling, retired from ONGC. Although we have a good research collaboration with MIT Pune previously, we would like to extend it further with this IADC blanket. Also, as mentioned by our director, we also plan to have an IADC conference in early or mid of 2021. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Mr. Parag Borania, Chairman IADC PDPU Student Chapter, to introduce the committee members.
Hello, good evening to one and all present here. I am Parag Borania and I'm currently pursuing Bachelor's of Technology in Petroleum Engineering here at SPT PDPU. And I'm serving as the Chairman of IADC PDPU Student Chapter. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the dignitaries present here for sparing their important time for this profounding moment. So I would like to take this prestigious moment and introduce to you all my immensely dedicated committee for the year 2020-2021. So on the list, first we have Mr. Vaidik Patel, his Chief Membership Officer, Mr. Dixit Sabani, Chief Technical Officer, Mr. Hardik Parmar, Chief Logistics Officer. Next. Ms. Vidhi Balodia, Chief Outreach Officer, Mr. Jayesh Belani, Chief Social Media Officer. We have Mr. Yatin Gajera, Chief Logistics Officer. Mr. Om Pathak as Chief Public Relations Officer, Mr. Nisarg Patel as Chief Documentation Officer, Mr. Nishit Patel as Chief Finance Officer. Next, Mr. Nikunj Kuvadia as Chief Event Management Officer, Mr. Raj Kothia as Chief Documentation Officer, and at the last, we have Mr. Rutvik Patel as the Chief Technical Officer. So our integral efforts would be in the direction of leveraging the best practical knowledge of drilling and oil field to the all associated members. So on behalf of all the members and as a chairman of the chapter, I promise to take this chapter to the newer heights and will definitely guide them to achieve the new pinnacles of success in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parag. Now I request Mr. Jayesh Belani to moderate the Q&A session.
Thank you, Vidhi. So the first question is for Mr. Mike DuBose. Harsh Pachisia from PDPU has asked, how will it be helpful to the students in professional growth?
Thank you for the question, and thank you for the presentations, all very well done, and we look forward to working with the PDPU Student Executive Committee members. So it will benefit and aid the growth in quite a number of areas. I think probably the first and foremost is the networking opportunity that it would provide. So at conferences, at different meetings and various settings, you'll learn how to interact with senior colleagues in the industry. Also, I think it will be quite enlightening for personal growth as far as presenting, being able to become more experienced at public speaking. It's a difficult thing and it doesn't come easy to everyone. And it's a skill that gets better over time. It gets skill with much more practice. And so I think those are just a couple of areas that it will include very quickly. I think one of the other things is it will expose the students to the global scale of the industry. So not just IADC, but with SPE and some of the different opportunities you have, you begin to realize the global scale of this industry. Because soon there will come a day and there will come a call where your bosses will say, we need you in Azerbaijan. They're not looking for excuses. They're looking for the person that will step forward, hold their hand up and say, yes, boss, send me, I'll go. Because I can tell you, as I'm sure many of my other colleagues will tell you here, that is the real beauty of the industry, the opportunity to go different places around the world, to experience different cultures, to experience how things work and how things come to pass in other countries is a unique opportunity that this industry offers its workforce that I think is unsurpassed in perhaps other industries. Thank you.
So the second question is also for you, Mr. Mike DuBose. From Nishit Patel. Nishit Patel from PDPU has asked, IADC offers certification courses related to drilling industry. So can you guide us through the relevance and importance of for professional life that will be helped through this?
Yes, certainly. So there are quite a number of courses available today and quite a number that we are working on in-house. Probably the premier program for IADC at the moment is WellSharp. This is taught at the Drilling Institute of Technology in Dehradun. It's taught in several different areas around India. It offers an introductory course, it offers a driller's course, a supervisor's course, and we are working on the engineer's course. So all of those courses, as you mature through and you become more skilled, having those certifications when you go to look for a job, it shows not only a firm academic background, but some practical experience and practical knowledge on the simulators and things of that nature. So those are some of the programs I think that would be most appealing.
And so the last question is from Mr. SC Soni, who is an ex-ONGC official. He has asked that there are 9 IADC student chapters all over the world. So PDPU will be 9th one or the 10th one?
9th.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Mr. Smith Prajapati, Vice Chairman of IADC PDPU Student Chapter, to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. We are privileged to have such a grand inaugural ceremony of IADC PDPU Student Chapter, even in this difficult time of COVID-19. We would like to express our gratitude to Mr. Arun Karle, his team members, and Mr. Mike DuBose for their active involvement in commencement of IADC PDPU Student Chapter. We are overwhelmed to host various distinguished members from IADC chapters across the globe. We are grateful to our DG, Dr.S Manoharan, Registrar Professor Tarun Shah, CFO Mr. Abhinav Kapadia for their valuable time and support. We would also like to thank Dr.R.K. Vij, Professor Subhash Shah, and all other executives who had helped us from time to time in making this event a grand success. We would like to thank Dr. Hari S., Mr. Gaurav Hazarika, who had continuously guided us throughout this process and helped us in creating a grand inaugural ceremony for IADC PDPU Student Chapter. I would like to thank Jayesh Belani and Vidhi Bhalodia, who had sailed us throughout this program. I would like to take this opportunity to thank IADC Core Committee and other members who are present here with active participation and support throughout the session. We are looking forward for a great cooperation and interaction with IADC in days to come. With this, we would like to conclude the IADC PDPU Student Chapter inaugural ceremony. Thank you everyone for your support.
Great, great. You guys finished it on the dot at 8 o'clock. Can't be anything better. No glitches. And forward to meeting you more often in the future.
Yes, certainly, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, bye. Thanks for all the.
Thank you everyone and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for participating.
Thank you. It was a nice program. Hearty congratulations to the all the
Thank you, sir.
initiators
Thank you
for
very much.
creating a second student chapter in India. Okay, congratulations. All the best to PDPU. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye. Bye,
Thank you,
Rajiv.
sir.
Bye, Karle Sahib.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Narsimhanji.
Thank you, Nasim sir. Thank you, Nasim sir. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Thank you, doctor.
Namaskar, sir.
Nice to see you there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Narasimhanji.
There, I'm proud.
Narasimhanji.
Yeah, we got a lot of folks. Pandey Sahib is also there, and a lot of people are still around. That's nice, and nice to see folks up. It's 10:30 in the night over there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karle sir.
Thank you once again. Thank you.
Sir,
I'll
thank you,
leave
sir.
now, huh?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We'll keep it touch.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great job.
Thank you, Shah Sahab. Thank you, Shah Sahab.
Mr. Karle, we miss OP Singh.
Next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, then. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Karle Sahib. Jatin here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you. Okay, thank you once again. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to sign off. Bye.
Sure.